Crossed over vine and saw the sign mirrored in her eyes. And by the time
Hi, and welcome to Sessions at On That Note. I'm Cindy Royal, helping you get to know some of the talented and creative musicians in the Austin community. Today my guest is Neal Mehta, and Neal is one of my oldest and dearest friends. I got to know Neal because I was a fan of a band that he was in called the Recliners many, many years ago, and he's been a performing musician in Austin for over 16 years. He's got some great insights in the Austin music scene regarding being a musician as well as a fan of music like me. So first of all, thanks for coming today, Neal.
Thank you for having me.
And so let's talk about the Recliners. They were a really popular band in the 90s and into the 2000s, sort of a lounge-style cover band. Tell me how that came about.
The Recliners started in 1995. Eric Calistri, Russell Young are the two that formed the band. I was in a band with Eric before called Swirl. It was an original pop rock band that we started playing about a year before the Recliners started. That disbanded. And, you know, Eric and Russell came up with this lounge band idea. And one day Eric was asking me, you know, we're looking for a singer. Would you be interested in singing in a lounge band? You know, he told me that the whole premise, they had a demo of I Want to Be Sedated, the Ramones. That was the first thing they kind of recorded on their own. And I was like, I'm like, this doesn't really sound like something I want to do. But you know, I don't know, a month went by and Eric called me again and I said, you know what, I'll go in there, I'll try it. And then it became the Recliners. So.
And you guys played a lot of corporate gigs, parties, and regular gigs at venues over the years.
We did. You know, originally it started out, and our first gig actually, this is, I guess, November 1995. Our first show was opening up for this band called the Scabs, you know,
the Scabs,
brand new band, yeah.
Just this band called the
Funny,
Scabs.
yeah. Just you know, they just had started up all of a sudden. We opened up for them at Steamboat every Sunday in the month of December, like November, December '95, and you know, the first couple years we were really strictly playing live music venues. I mean, we did some, you know, wedding, corporate stuff here and there. But we were playing 5-6 days a week at clubs, and it wasn't the weddings and private party aspect of the Recliners. Kind of started more at the end of the 90s into the 2000s. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think of the band in two separate ways: the club band and then the private party band later.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you've never heard the Recliners before, they're a really fun band, and they'll do songs like AC/DC's Back in Black or White Wedding by Billy Idol, but they do it the way sort of Frank Sinatra would do it. And Neal's a great lead singer in that particular type of a band, and really takes it seriously, but also has tons of fun with it. So you were like the perfect voice and the perfect person to front something like that.
It was fun. I mean, you can't take that stuff seriously at all. I mean, it was silly. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. Now, you've been in some other bands in terms of doing original material, and even the Recliners had a couple of original songs that are some of my favorite Recliners songs, like Different Games and Deeper and Deeper. So what kind of original bands have you been in?
You know, the original stuff has been more like pop rock bands. You know, I play guitar and sing in those bands. It's always been myself, of course, singing and playing guitar, another guitar player, bass and drums. Your kind of classic four-piece band. You know, that's what you know, before the Recliners, I wrote songs that's what I envisioned myself doing. You know, because the stuff I write is in that vein. And even with the Recliners originals, like Deeper and Deeper was written by me and Eric, so that he had a lot of the music aspects of that. But a song like Different Games, I wrote that kind of more as a pop rock song, and we kind of Reclinerized that song like we did any other rock song. We kind of made it more loungy because, you know, initially that's not how I envisioned the song sounding at all. You know, other bands I was in after you know, the Recliners, of course, took up so much time. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to kind of devote to these other pop rock ideas I had. But after the Recliners, I was in a band called, or actually during the Recliners tour, you know, starting in 2000, this band called Halloway. With a friend of mine, Paul Letty, playing guitar. And
great guitarist.
John Bush played drums that band.
Great drummer, good guy.
From New Bohemians, a lot of fun. And we did that for a few years, and We had some really good gigs with that too. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, before the Recliners in this band called Swirl, we had, you know, we were pretty short-term band. We weren't together for even a year, but we had some really good gigs. The best being we opened up for Tripping Daisy at
That's cool.
Liberty Lunch. Yeah, that was cool.
And so what are some of the other places, like some of your other favorite venues that you've played in?
You know, with the Recliners, the Ritz, and the Egos were kind of our mainstays. I mean,
And that's when I first saw you was at the Ritz.
And you know, every Friday at the Ritz, every Tuesday at Egos. We just we played a lot, obviously a lot of other clubs in town, Cedar Street, Speakeasy, but weekly, week in and week out, most people even now are like, oh, I remember seeing you at the Ritz, or I remember coming to Egos every Tuesday. You know, a lot of people would go see Tony Price at hello, why can't I think right now?
Continental Club?
Thank you, the Continental Club, that little club
that little place.
Yeah. So they go to Continental and just walk down the street and see us at Egos after a lot of people have this little ritual that they see both bands every Tuesday.
And, you know, one of the things that we have in common is that we both love to go out and hear live music. And you've been in the Austin scene for a long time, so you've been probably seeing lots of great bands over the years. So who are some of your favorite people to go out to hear?
You know, my favorites, let's think, you know, when I was in college, I just, you know, got to Austin and completely started going and seeing all these local bands back then. This is early 90s. Cotton Mather was still...
Love Cotton Mather.
Love Cotton Mather. You know, now Robert is Future Clouds and Radar.
Love
Such
Robert,
an awesome
Future
band.
Clouds and Radar.
Absolutely. So I'll go there, go to, you know, Magneto USA, which is now Fastball.
Yeah, love them.
You know, the list goes on. This band Skellington, which I used to see. In fact, I was hoping you'd ask me that question. Dug in the archives. I did. About a prop. You can't see this little cassette tape from 1989 or 90. Skellington. The songwriter and singer in this band is a guy by the name of Britt Daniels that I'm sure no one's heard of.
No, only Spoon. Yeah.
But that's his first band. This might be worth something.
Yeah, definitely.
I keep telling my wife, I keep telling Monique that I'm going to put this on eBay.
That could be your retirement plan.
She laughs. It's got to be worth something. So that's just to name a few. I mean, I could go on for, you know, a long time.
So one of the reasons why I'm doing this show is because I want other people to be able to see the talented people we have in this community and go out and support live music in Austin. Do you think it's important for Austinites to support the live music community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, a lot of people, you know, if they were just to make it out, they'd realize how much cool stuff's out there. You know, there's a variety of different types of music out there. There's so many great musicians. You know, I just think a lot of people are just so overwhelmed when they open up the Chronicle or whatever, and they don't even know where to start. But, you know, they realize how many cool records are made here, like so many people under the radar. I mean, what do you think as far as that goes?
Well, I mean, I agree. I think people are somewhat overwhelmed, but, you know, you and I have been to some great shows and we've seen great people that are so talented that you just can't even believe that they're not more famous. We've seen some magical shows at Hole in the Wall. And I think if you're not kind of in the center of the city, you might not realize even where to start or what to do. So maybe if people would go out on like a MySpace and check out people's music or the Chronicle.
Or like your webpage. I mean, onthatnote.com, that thing you did, you know, that little thing you put together for last year for 2008, your 15 or 16 minutes clips of some of the things you saw last year. How many bands did you see? Like 100?
I don't know.
Something
yeah, I didn't
ridiculous?
Even count, but like over 100, including all the festival
awesome.
sets.
And you cut that down to these snippets that are awesome. I mean, that is such a great tool for people to go look at. I mean, even myself, you had a couple things on there I had yet to see, and I mean, people see those things, even not in just Austin. I think people around the country would see that. They'd be like, I need to get to Austin to hear some of this stuff. And, you know, just those are, I just really think a lot of people would, if they walked in, they'd realize how cool this is just, you know, sporadically. I mean, a lot of people with the recliners were like that. They'd show up to a bar just to go have a drink, and they're like, wow, you guys are really fun. How long have you guys been doing that? And I'd be like, 6 years. And they're like, well, we never heard you, or, you know, we seen the name, but we just never made it out. You know, I think that holds true for a lot of acts.
Well, will you play a song for us
Sure.
now?
Sure.
Okay, well, we'll take a break and we'll be back with more from Neal Mehta.
Crossed over vine and saw the sign, mirrored in her eyes. And by the time I made my mind up, I was looking at the sign of Coang.